Before we begin the lesson, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt afraid to try something new, even when everyone else around you seemed confident? That fear is exactly what today's lesson is about. In this video, we will journey through His First Flight by Liam O'Flaherty, discovering how fear, courage, and confidence shape one unforgettable moment of growth. His First Flight by Liam O'Flaherty. 2 Stories About Flying, Part 1. About the author. Liam O'Flaherty. Liam O'Flaherty was a well-known Irish writer, especially famous for his short stories. He grew up close to the sea and nature, which strongly influenced his writing. Many of his stories focus on fear and courage, survival, inner conflict. He often uses animals to reflect human emotions and struggles. His writing style is simple and realistic, emotionally powerful, easy for young readers to connect with. In His First Flight, he uses the journey of a young seagull to explore how fear is overcome. Insight. Great writers often use simple situations to reveal deep truths about human nature. Background of the lesson. His First Flight is the first story in the chapter, 2 Stories About Flying. The story revolves around a young seagull learning to fly for the first time. Though flying is natural for birds, the seagull is afraid, unsure of his strength. His fear is mental, not physical. The story symbolizes a child taking the first step, a learner facing a challenge. It teaches that fear is natural. Courage develops through experience. Insight. Every new beginning brings fear, but growth begins only when fear is faced. The young seagull's fear. The story opens with the young seagull alone on a narrow ledge. His 2 brothers and sister have already flown away. He had tried to fly earlier but stopped because the sea below looked endless and frightening. He felt the height was too dangerous. He believed his wings would not support him. Whenever fear took over, he bent his head, ran back to his small hole under the ledge. Insight. Fear often grows stronger when we imagine failure instead of trusting ourselves. Watching his siblings fly. The seagull watches his siblings take flight confidently. Their wings are shorter than his yet strong enough to fly. They run to the edge, flap their wings and disappear into the open sky. Even after seeing this success, he cannot gather the courage to jump. The flight seems like a desperate plunge to him. Insight. Seeing others succeed does not remove fear unless self-belief develops. Parents' pressure and expectations. The seagull's parents notice his hesitation. They call out to him loudly, scold him for being cowardly, threaten to let him starve if he does not fly. Their intention is not cruelty. They want him to become independent. However, fear still controls him. He remains frozen on the ledge. Insight. Encouragement can push us forward, but courage must come from within. Isolation and growing frustration. 24 hours pass, and the seagull is still alone. No one comes near him. He watches his family, flying freely, teaching his siblings how to dive for fish. He sees his elder brother catch his first fish, being praised by the parents. This increases his loneliness, sense of failure. Insight. Remaining inactive, while others progress, deepens self-doubt. Hunger and physical discomfort. The sun rises high and shines directly on the ledge. The seagull has not eaten since the previous night. Feels weak and tired. Hunger makes him restless. He steps to the edge of the ledge, stands on one leg, pretends to sleep. This shows his desire for attention, his inner conflict. Insight. Discomfort often becomes the force that pushes us to act. The mother and the temptation. The seagull notices his siblings resting peacefully, his father calmly preening his feathers. Only his mother keeps watching him carefully. She stands on a rock with a piece of fish near her feet. The sight of food drives him almost mad with hunger. He begins calling out, begging for food. Insight. Desire and need can awaken courage where fear dominates. The mother's test. At first, the mother screams back mockingly. After repeated calls, she picks up a piece of fish, flies towards him. The seagull becomes excited, leans forward eagerly. Suddenly, the mother stops midair, holds the fish just out of reach. Insight. True guidance often challenges us instead of rescuing us. The leap into fear. Confused and desperate, the seagull waits briefly. Hunger overpowers fear. He dives towards the fish. Instead of landing, he falls into open space. Terror grips him. His heart stands still. He believes he will die. Insight. The moment of greatest fear often comes just before growth. Discovery of flight. The terror lasts only a moment. He suddenly feels his wings spread wide, wind pushing against them. He realizes he is not falling, he is flying. He flaps his wings and rises into the air. His family flies around him joyfully. Insight. Confidence is discovered through action, not reassurance. Mastery and celebration. The seagull now dives, soars, and curves in the air. He forgets that he was ever afraid. He flies over the sea, enjoying the view. His family lands on the water and calls him. He lands on the sea, frightened at first, then realizes he is floating. His family praises him and offers food. Insight. Once fear is conquered, joy and freedom follow. Conclusion with the first flight. The young seagull overcomes fear, learns independence. His journey mirrors a child learning to walk, a student attempting something new. The story ends with success, celebration, and self-discovery. Final insight. We are often stronger than we believe, we just need the courage to try. His first flight. Important themes. Theme 1. Fear and self-doubt. Fear is the central theme of the story. The young seagull is afraid to fly despite having strong wings and natural ability. His fear comes from the great height and the vast sea below. He imagines falling, his wings failing him. This fear paralyzes him, stops him from trying. Example from the lesson. He runs back to his hole whenever he reaches the edge of the ledge. Theme message. Fear is often mental and exaggerated, not a true measure of our ability. Theme 2. Courage born out of necessity. The seagull does not overcome fear suddenly. Hunger becomes the turning point in the story. After remaining alone for 24 hours, he grows weak. He becomes desperate. The need for food overpowers fear, forces him to act. His dive for the fish leads to his first flight. Example from the lesson. Maddened by hunger, he dives at the fish held by his mother. Theme message. Sometimes, necessity pushes us to discover courage within ourselves. Theme 3. Role of parental guidance. The seagull's parents play an important role in his growth. They use scolding, threats, and encouragement. The mother's action is crucial. She tempts him with food, but does not feed him directly. This forces him to make his own effort. Take responsibility. Example from the lesson. The mother stops mid-air with the fish just out of reach. Theme message. True guidance helps learners become independent, not dependent. Theme 4. Discovery of self-confidence. The seagull believes his wings cannot support him. Once he jumps, his wings spread automatically. The wind supports him. Confidence comes after action, not before it. Once he succeeds, he forgets his fear. He flies joyfully. Example from the lesson. He begins to soar, dive, and curve freely in the air. Theme message. Self-confidence develops through experience, not assurance. Theme 5. Independence and growth. Flying symbolizes independence, maturity. The young seagull moves from dependence on parents to self-reliance. The parents stop feeding him to prepare him for survival. His first flight marks a new phase in life. Example from the lesson. After landing on the sea, his family celebrates and feeds him. Theme message. Growth begins when we learn to stand or fly on our own. Theme 6. Fear versus natural instinct. Flying is a natural instinct for birds. Fear blocks this instinct in the young seagull. Once fear is overcome, instinct takes control, flight becomes effortless. This reflects human life. Abilities exist naturally, fear suppresses them. Example from the lesson. The moment he jumps, his wings spread automatically. Theme message. Fear suppresses natural ability, action releases it. Theme 7. Learning through experience. The seagull does not learn by watching others, listening to advice. He learns only by trying, experiencing flight himself. Once experienced, fear disappears, skill becomes natural. Example from the lesson. He completely forgets that he was once afraid to fly. Theme message. Real learning happens through experience, not observation. His first flight. Character sketch. The young seagull. Introduction. The young seagull is the central character of the story. He represents fear, insecurity, the struggle to grow independent. Though flying is natural for a bird, he lacks confidence, doubts his own strength. His journey from fear to flight forms the core of the story. Insight. The young seagull symbolizes every learner facing a new challenge. Fearful and insecure by nature. At the beginning of the story, the seagull is extremely fearful, mentally weak. He is terrified of the height of the cliff and the vast sea below. He believes his wings will not support him. Fear controls his actions. He bends his head, runs back to his hole. Example from the lesson. Even after seeing his siblings fly, he cannot gather the courage to jump. Insight. Fear grows when self-belief is missing. Hesitant and dependent. The young seagull depends heavily on his parents. He waits for food, protection, reassurance. Instead of attempting flight, he cries to his mother, begs her to feed him. His hesitation shows emotional dependence, lack of initiative. Example from the lesson. He keeps calling plaintively, expecting his mother to bring food to him. Insight. Dependence delays growth and independence. Sensitive and emotionally aware. The seagull is emotionally sensitive. He keenly observes his parents training his siblings, his brother catching the first fish. He feels left out, ashamed of his cowardice. His loneliness deepens his inner conflict. Example from the lesson? He watches his family celebrating while he remains alone on the ledge. Insight. Sensitivity makes fear stronger, but it also prepares the ground for growth. Driven by hunger and need. Hunger becomes a powerful force in the seagull's life. After staying alone for 24 hours, he grows weak, he becomes desperate. Hunger pushes him to move closer to the edge, call out repeatedly to his mother. Need finally overpowers fear. Example from the lesson? Maddened by hunger, he dives at the piece of fish. Insight. Strong motivation can break even the strongest fear. Courageous in the moment of action. The seagull's courage does not appear gradually. It emerges suddenly when he jumps towards the fish. At first he feels intense terror. Soon his wings spread naturally. He realizes he can fly. Action replaces fear. Example from the lesson? He feels the wind against his feathers and begins to soar. Insight. Courage often appears only after we take the first step. Confident and joyful after success. Once he learns to fly, the seagull becomes confident, feels free and joyful. He dives, soars, curves through the air. He forgets that he was ever afraid, his fear completely disappears. Example from the lesson. He shrieks joyfully and flies with his family. Insight. Success transforms fear into confidence. Independent and mature at the end. By the end of the story, the seagull is no longer dependent. Has learnt self-reliance. He lands on the sea independently. His family praises him. Rewards him with food. His journey marks his emotional growth. Example from the lesson. He floats on the sea and accepts food proudly. Insight. True maturity comes with independence. Character arc. From fear to freedom. The young seagull undergoes a clear and meaningful transformation throughout the story. At the beginning, he is fearful and hesitant, unsure of his own abilities. As hunger and loneliness increase, his hesitation turns into desperation. When he finally jumps for the fish, fear gives way to courage. By the end of the story, he becomes confident, independent, and joyful in flight. His journey reflects the way humans learn through experience. Emotional growth through struggle and effort. Through the young seagull, the author shows us that fear is only temporary. Confidence is the result of effort and action. Overall character message. We grow not when we are protected from challenges, but when we are pushed to face them. Symbolism. Meaning of flight. In the story, the word flight goes beyond its literal meaning. It is not merely a physical act of flying, but a powerful symbol of inner change. Flight symbolizes freedom from fear, personal growth and maturity, independence and self-belief. For the young seagull, flight represents trusting his own strength and instincts, letting go of self-doubt. His earlier inability to fly symbolizes mental and emotional barriers, fear of failure and insecurity. The moment he finally flies, fear loses its power. Confidence naturally takes control. Example from the lesson? The seagull realizes that his wings can support him only after he dares to jump. Symbolic meaning. Flight represents the courage to overcome fear and trust one's own abilities. Message or moral of the story. His first flight teaches us that fear is a natural part of every new beginning. It reminds us that confidence does not exist before action, it is built through action. The story clearly shows that merely watching others succeed cannot remove our fear. Real learning comes only through personal experience. The behavior of the seagull's parents highlights the value of challenge over comfort, the role of struggle in developing independence. The young seagull's success proves that we are often much stronger and more capable than we believe. Core message or moral: we discover our true abilities only when we dare to face and overcome our fears. Life connections. The young seagull's experience closely mirrors real-life human situations. Just like him, we often face fear before attempting something new. Similar real-life experiences include a child learning to walk for the first time, learning to swim or ride a bicycle, speaking on stage or in front of an audience, facing an important exam or interview. Like the young seagull, we hesitate before taking the first step. Fear failure and embarrassment. Doubt our own abilities. However, once we make the effort, confidence begins to grow. Fear gradually loses its hold. Life lesson: every meaningful achievement begins with a brave and risky first step. His first flight reminds us that true growth begins where fear ends. If this explanation helped you understand the lesson better, do like the video and share it with others who may find it useful. Subscribe to the channel for more clear and thoughtful English lessons. And remember, the first step is always the hardest, but it is also the most important.